Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 105 of the TV Knitting Podcast. My name is Sharon, also known as Stitch Mistress, pretty much everywhere on the internet. So, hi, everybody. Today is March 12th on a Saturday, and I've been recording on Saturdays lately because then it gives me all day Sunday to do other things. Last week, Rich and I went out on the bridge and had a very small brunch afterwards at a restaurant that we just walked to, and we had a lovely day. So I knew I had my recording finished, and we enjoyed our afternoon. So, time to get fancy because I really don't have anything new to show you this week. Well, I have one new thing, but it's kind of a new old thing. I do not have any new items that came in the mail this week, so I don't have any unpackaging today. And I made progress on my knitting. However, it's slow, and so you're pretty much going to be seeing the same things you saw last week, which is the hazard of recording weekly, because things go slowly and I don't always finish things in a timely way. So I decided to wear something fancy to distract you. And this is my Viagance shawl. The pattern is by Martina Bem. It took me about, I want to say, it took me about 5 months to knit it. I knit it 2 years ago. I have kind of a love-hate relationship with it. No, I really do love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful shawl. And I'll stand up and show you a little bit more of it, hopefully. So this is it. It's extremely long on me. It pretty much, if I stretched it out, well, if I wore it the way it's supposed to be worn, it would reach all the way to the floor when I'm standing up, because I am rather a short girl, which is fine. I'm petite. It's really a gorgeous shawl, and I love it. Like I said, I love it mostly. It's pretty fancy, so I wear it to work sometimes, but it's kind of, it's very dramatic to wear for work really. It's super warm. And look, this is some of the lace detailing, the mesh on the end. And it's a super warm shawl, but yeah, it's actually almost too warm for me to be wearing it right now, but I will try and suffer through. It's a beautiful color. Let me tell you about the yarn. It is by Blue Moon Fiber Arts, and they make the Socks That Rock sock yarn. And this yarn is their marine silk lace. And it is silk and tencel, I believe. I have another skein of it right here. So it's 51% silk, 29% merino wool, and 20% sea cell rayon. And it's one of my favorite yarns to knit with. This is actually another skein. It's a skein of white that I've had in my stash 3 years now. I made a shawl from this one and gave it away. And it's just lovely to work with. It is completely lovely to wear. It's just luxurious. This shawl is really nice and beautiful and just soft, and you could just cozy up in it. And I actually this winter didn't really have a lot of opportunities to wear something really warm because it was a very nice winter. It was very unseasonably warm this year. So that's my voyage. I have never showed it on the show, and I thought I would, just to distract you from the rest of the show, which you might be bored with. I'm not bored, but you might be. Anyway, so let's move along to things I've been working on. Okay, so I showed you these last week, but they got quite a bit of love this week. These are my Mustache Yarns. I think they're Valentine socks. And I am almost finished with these socks. As you can see, I'm well past the waist yarn for the heel. And I'm about to start the ribbing actually on this one. I had lots of professional development this week. I had, let's see, I had like 10 hours of professional development this week. And I knit through a lot of it because I've decided I'm going to do that from now on. I just, I'm going to do it. Not during work time. This was after work. So I never knit, during work gatherings. It's just weird to me. So anyway, lots of knitting on these this week. I've decided I'm not a fan of double points, particularly when I'm knitting in public. I'm always terrified I'm going to lose one. And I actually was knitting on another project yesterday, and I lost one somewhere in the house. Not a real expensive one, but I'll find it. It's in the house somewhere. I think it fell out of my bag. I heard it fall, and I wasn't sure what it was. I thought I had it secured, but I didn't. And then when I'm in public, forget about it. I am terrified that my DPNs are just going to go bye-bye. So, and it's just, I don't know, not even knitting in public. A lot of people feel that knitting on DPNs is faster because you just, you don't have to pull this cord through. Actually, for me, Magic Loop is much, much faster because I finish the stitches on one DPN really quickly, and then I have to set up for the next stitches, and that takes me longer than pulling the cord through. It's just me. I know a lot of people have different experiences, so anyway. But next week, they should be finished objects. I think I'm going to put a Lara Neal heel in this, maybe the hat head heel. I am not really sure, but they should be finished next week, I hope. So, lots of sock knitting this week, so that's been fun. This next project is what I consider to be my main project, and that is the Huhue shawl, or Hujujue shawl by Joji Locatelli. And I finished the striping section last week. And I feel like it really came out lovely. I love it. And now I'm working on the second mesh section. And it's going really well. I love this pattern, like I said last week. I really love this pattern. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it's fun to knit. So the mesh is going to extend all the way, and if you can see, it's really long. I mean, it's really bunched up on this needle. So this mesh section has to come all the way up to the end of this needle. And I think it's going to come out great. It's going to take me some time, though, to do this mesh section. but that's cool. That's okay. I love this project, like I said, and I'm hoping by the end of next week to start on the blue yarn. So I probably should wind this blue yarn this coming week because I will be starting on that blue yarn. I would assume by the end of the week I should finish the mesh section. So I will be adding then the blue. So yeah, I really feel like this is a wonderful, successful project so far, and I am looking forward to keeping on knitting with it. I'll tell you, the only thing is I could really use a longer needle because it's quite bunched up, as you can see. I think when I finish the mesh section, there's almost 400 stitches on the needle. So that gets a little crazy. Next is my morning relaxing lace knitting. I got just about one more repeat done this week. It doesn't look any different, except I'm holding it closer to the camera. It is the Peace Blossom Shawl by Boo Knits, and I'm knitting it out of Woolen Vine yarns in the Angry Orchard colorway, and I'm using some coordinating green shiny sparkly beads. And like I said, I work on that in the mornings before work when I'm awake so I can successfully execute lace. And then lastly, I'm going to show you Big Old Coat, which is my nighttime knitting. And I got quite a bit done on it last week. This is the collar up on top, and then this is the back. And it's got this beautiful type of basket weave stitch. And I'm loving working on it. Working on things in the late of the evening, probably not such a good idea. Because I finished the back. I finished the back down to the armholes. So this goes down to the armholes, I assume. And now I've added the side. Okay, this is the right front here. And what happened was, when I was knitting on this, it said to start with a purl 2, knit 2, and I was starting with a knit 2, purl 2. And it said that this yarn should be for the left front, and it's actually on the right side, on the right front. Somewhere I zigged where I should have zagged, and I probably reversed this collar as far as what was the right side and the wrong side. Doesn't matter because it's 2x2 rib. As long as I keep this right side correct, I'm okay. It's just the pattern just got a little reversed on me. Not a big deal. But I love working on it. I love it. I love this pattern. It's awesome. It's beautiful. It's going to be soft and squishy and lovely to wear next winter because I probably won't finish it till then. And that's completely fine. And I guess I could count this as this next thing I'm going to show you as my finished object. I have a wee square that I finished on my wee blanket. Oh, it is wee. So this one here is my latest one, and that is the yarn is Woolen Vine Yarns in the Outlander colorway, and I love it. It's beautiful. And I have 3 squares. It's fine. I'm just taking time with it. And I'm almost finished with my brown raisin square that I've been working on for the last month. It's going to take me forever to finish that. And I will show that to you next week because it's just sad for me to show you a project that pretty much only needs 2 rows and a bind off. So yeah, I'm liking working on these scrappy blankets, and I will be 100 when they're finished, which is fine. And that's pretty much it for the knitting this week. So yeah, it's actually quite a lot. I do a lot during the week, and I'm kind of spreading myself a little thin with lots of different projects, but that's where I want to be right now as far as my knitting. So I'm just going to have to accept that. Okay, so let me show you what I want to start soon when I finish my Valentine's Day socks. I've been watching a fairly new podcast called Inside 23, hosted by Katie, and I absolutely love this podcast. And she is having a Harry Potter knit along, which is fabulous because I love Harry Potter. I've always loved Harry Potter. And I have the perfect yarn for it. This is Mustache Yarns in the Sorting Hat colorway. And it has all of the colors for all of the houses in the Harry Potter series. And it's beautiful. These are going to be for my husband because he desperately needs socks. He doesn't have any. Well, I need to fix them. He blew some holes through his favorite pair, and I'll fix them. It'll be fine. But he needs socks, so these are perfect. These are perfect manly colors. So the other day I went on to Pottermore, which can sort you into a house, and I did their little survey, and I kind of did it quickly, so I don't know, I'm almost thinking of taking it over again and seeing if it comes up with a house that is appropriate for me. But I think actually this house that it sorted me into is probably me. I was sorted into Ravenclaw. Now Ravenclaw, here I'm looking on my phone, values intelligence, knowledge, and wit. Its emblematic animal is the eagle, and its colors are blue and bronze. The Ravenclaw head of house in 1990s was Phileas Flitwick. The ghost of Ravenclaw is Grey Lady, who was the daughter of Rowena Ravenclaw, the house's founder. So I felt that Ravenclaw definitely fits me because they're kind of the brainy ones who like to study. Hermione was almost sorted into Ravenclaw, and I'm kind of like that. I always loved, well, particularly when I went to college, I was good. I'm just good in school. I tend to be that type of person who can memorize things and study, and I studied a lot and did very well in school. So that definitely fits me. And one thing that Pottermore said was Ravenclaw does not like being bored, and that is me to a T. I think that's why I always have to have something in my hands or something in my ears or something to watch. I have a really hard time I can't meditate. I can't do it because my mind works too fast. I have to have stimulation all the time, and boredom drives me crazy. I don't like being bored. And that is a trait of a Ravenclaw, so that's probably very accurate for me. Anyway, I went on and on about that a little too much. I love Harry Potter. We used to read the books to the kids. I started reading them to my daughter when she was in second grade. She is now well past that. She's 23 and working. She's a software engineer and very geeky. We kind of all are. And yeah, we enjoyed the books as a family pretty much throughout the whole series. I read almost all of them aloud to the kids, and we all loved it. We would read them on road trips, and we just still have fond memories of that. And yeah, it's such a great thing to do with kids of all ages. Even older children love being read to, and it's something that I think is really important as a parent to do with your children, even when they can read stories on their own. I think read alouds for chapter books and more complicated texts are great for kids. It practices listening skills. Anyway, let's get off my work soapbox. But like I said, very fun memories of Harry Potter, and there's lots of new things coming up with that series as extensions to the series, so that's really super exciting. Okay, let's talk spinning. So this is something beautiful that I want to show you. I have some fiber that I have been spinning for... I've been spinning this a long time, probably 7-8 months now, and off and on. And I'm spinning it very fine, and I'm aiming for a lace weight. And I'm going to knit a Novum by Martina Bem. And it's pretty much the same amount of yarn that's in this thing, in my Viajange, which is over 1,000 yards. So I have 2 braids of it. I finished 1 braid, and now I'm on the 2nd braid. The first braid, I just spun it end to end. The 2nd braid, I'm separating them into colors. So I did that this week. And here is my basket of gorgeousness. Mostly the purples. This is my Hansen bobbin. And I've been spinning this on the Hansen. And I started with the lighter yellow, orange, and now I'm into the deeper orange, as you can see on the bottom here. And this is the color combination I'm spinning at this point. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. Love, love, love. I think it's gorgeous. I love these colors. So here it is all together. And I really can't wait to finish this project because it's going to be beautiful when it's done, I think. And I can't wait to see how the colors play because I think I'm going to get quite a gradient effect with it, with separating the colors this way. We'll see. I can't wait to knit it up, actually. I'm actually really excited to get this finished. And I'm trying to do at least 20 minutes a day, but I'm also working on another spinning project at the same time on my matchless. I didn't bring the fiber up here, but I do have the yarn. So last week I showed you the 3-ply that I did, and it's just a little tiny bit too thin. It's not bad, but I wanted a little bit of a thicker yarn. So I decided to do a 4-ply. So I spun up 4 bobbins of singles and I did a 4-ply, and then I realized I really overplied this one, and it didn't get wiry, but it's definitely compacted and much too thin, and this definitely is not going to work for my sweater. It's really super overplied. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, I did some that was underplied, much more puffy, but too puffy, not really well integrated with each other. So this one definitely wouldn't work. And then I finally got the plying right, and this is what I came up with. It's perfect. Well, it's not really perfect yarn because woolen spun yarn is definitely not, it's not going to look like commercial yarn, but it's really beautiful yarn, and I think it's going to be perfect in my sweater. That's it. That's going to be the yarn for my sweater. So what I need to do, it's really nice. It's definitely not the bounciest yarn that I've ever spun. It's a little more drapey than the last hand spun I did for a sweater because it's a long wool. But it's nice and soft, and it's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to make the Miranda sweater. And the yarn I came up with ultimately is 10 wraps per inch. It is 843 yards per pound, which is the grist. And it's a 4-ply. And I like spinning the singles. I did a 4-ply that was thinner, and I didn't care for, I had a really, this first one that I did was a 4-ply. I don't know if I mentioned that. Maybe I called it a 3-ply. It's not. It's a 4-ply, this first one. And I spun the singles really fine, and I didn't enjoy it that much. And if you're going to spin that much yarn, you're going to want to enjoy spinning the singles. So I really liked spinning these singles, and they're kind of like the sweet spot for my long draw. I'm spinning them supported long draw, and it's right in the area that I really like the yarn's not going to break, and it's a nice fine single but beefy. So yeah, I'm going to enjoy spinning this. So I need to take some of the singles that I spun, I still have some left, and put them on a card, make a spinner's control card, and as I'm spinning just keep checking to make sure that they match, and it should go well. So I want to knit the Miranda sweater, which is a top-down cabled simple sweater, and it's got short sleeves. So yeah, I'd like that to be my Rhinebeck sweater next year. Okay, speaking of Rhinebeck, let's talk a little bit about events coming up in the next year, actually. So there's several events that I want to attend in 2016, and let's start with the very first one. The first one is coming up next weekend. That is Woolen Vine Yarn's trunk show at Do You Knit in Westfield, New Jersey. And I'm really looking forward to attending this event. I just kind of looked up when it was. I knew it was coming up, and I said, oh, it's next weekend, which is the start of my spring break. So, yeah, I don't mind taking a whole day, to do that, because I have the whole week, actually more than a week off after that. So I'm just going to get up and drive down there. It's about an hour and 40 minutes from me, which is not far. I have invited a friend of mine. I don't know if she's coming with me or not. If she can't come, I'm still going to go, because I may see some of you there. I'll definitely see Kristen there, so that'll be awesome. And I'm looking forward to going and hanging out and bringing my knitting and just sitting there and chatting with some knitters and shopping for some yarn, and it'll be super fun. So I'll probably get there around 11 in the morning-ish. I don't know, I'll probably leave my house around 9. So there wasn't really a time on the website, so I assume it's, pretty much most of the day. So I'll double check that though. So I'm looking forward to doing that next week. And then coming up after that is Connecticut Sheep and Wool, which is usually traditionally late April, usually the weekend that my husband and I have our anniversary. So unless we have major plans that weekend, I'll probably try and go to that. And Emily usually likes to come with me to that one. Or maybe I'll bring my friend who's been going with me to events. I would love to go to Maryland Sheep and Wool, which is Mother's Day weekend in May. And it's not going to happen for me this year. Probably not even next year, because I can't really get time off very easily. And I want to make it kind of like a very long weekend. Like get there early and kind of stay there and then drive home maybe on Monday rather than rush home on Sunday. So I probably won't do that until I retire. And Rich may go with me because he likes festivals. And then let's see now. Nothing really over the summer. The next one after that is Rhinebeck. Definitely will be at Rhinebeck unless I'm really sick or something, because that's my local festival. I live 45 minutes from Rhinebeck, so I'll be there all weekend. I am not teaching there this year because I want to enjoy the festival rather than, worry about planning my lessons and all that stuff. So I decided to take a break from teaching at Rhinebeck. I've taught there before. And then pretty soon after Rhinebeck is Vogue Knitting Live in New York City, Times Square area at the Marriott Marquis. And I already have hotel reservations. I hope they don't decide to change the weekend because it's usually the long weekend, Martin Luther King weekend. And I've decided to stay the weekend next year. And my dear friend who's been coming with me to lots of events is coming with me. We're going to share a room, and I'll be there all weekend. And that is so exciting to me because I've never spent the weekend in New York. Nope. I live near there, so I can just go there anytime I want, and I don't go there very often. It's about an hour and a half train ride for me, but I don't get down there very often. And we had such a great time last year on our day trip down there. We decided to do the weekend thing. So I already have my hotel reservations. I didn't have to put any money down or anything. I just reserved the room. And yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. So there we go. That's events for the next 10 months coming up. So with that, I am going to say goodbye. Have a fun week. It's St. Patrick's Day week. Spring is in the air, and that's super exciting. Enjoy your knitting. Have a great week. Cheers.